Namaste. Good morning to you all. I have one very interesting email. It's interesting as well as promising. It's giving me a lot of hopes. But this is written by 16-year-old girl. Maybe she's 15, I don't know. She has her own group of her young friends. And when you see such things where younger children are asking questions, which I'm going to share with you, it gives you a lot of joy. Not only that, she ends up sharing it with her friends, and it becomes friends' questions also. They discuss all these things. Imagine a child of that age discussing truth eternal with her friends. And I find it very interesting that when young ones have a circle, friend circle, who discusses Sajmarg, heartfulness philosophy, they are already set in their life. Parents can rest free and say, okay, my child is on a proper course. When you don't even see one friend of your child even asking a question on meditation, then you have to worry because your child has not been good enough in attracting others. Sorry, I'm not using right words, right language. Not that your child is bad, but he has yet to attract through his being, through his belief system, through his acts. There is, of course, a time to grow, but when such a child at such a young age is able to attract, it gives you a lot of joy. You can be assured that you have nothing to worry in the world afterward. Many people leave millions, crores for their family, for their children. But if there is no moral education, spiritual education, this wealth is going to only destroy them. Wealth will facilitate the destruction. But along with this material wealth, if you can also target, transfer spiritual wealth, share your spiritual wisdom, strengthen their moral muscles, then that's a real inheritance. Even if you don't give them anything, with their inner moral strength, they will make it in life. This is one case. I don't know if I should announce the name. She's Laya, 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 Iyer from United States. I'll read her mail. Dear Kamlesh Uncle. Well, there is a lot before that, but I'll skip all those things. We have been meditating with you on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and eagerly wait for your perspective about truth eternal. Every time I'm amazed at your explanation. This evening, we read passages from the chapter Ignorance and Knowledge. I have a few questions that I would love to have your thoughts on. She has written the paragraph, copied from Truth Eternal. This mind has 5 conditions, namely stupidity, fickleness, ignorance, having wisdom, and 5th one is having peace or happiness. In this body of yours, the lower part pertains to the stupid condition, and it starts from the throat and encircles the region both above and below. The region of the fickle mind is especially found in the heart. The region of the ignorant is the heart, throat, and up to the eyes or the subtle organs. The region of the wise is not only the heart, neck, eyes, and the forehead, but it is also from top to bottom. The region of peaceful or blissful is above the eyes, up to the further higher regions, higher planes. The only difference is that he, being at the top, Adhisthana, gives strength to lower states or regions which are dependent on him. He, however, remains quite independent of all this. So this is the paragraph, the basis of our question. Question number 1. Lalaji mentions that the lower part of our body pertains to stupid condition and starts from the throat and encircles the region both above and below. What does this mean? Well, in order to understand these things, we have to understand one fundamental thing: how our mind identifies itself, identifies with various functions. Functions of various parts of the body are different. Thinking, feeling. The lower part is about fulfilling the hunger, procreation, things of that nature. What is common between the animal kingdom and human beings is this lower part, Muladhara Chakra, Swadhisthana, and Manipur. These three chakras are very common. They are the cause of this condition Lalaji describes stupidity. It cannot be changed. You are adamant. Stupid persons are adamant people. It wants to eat, it wants to have pleasures at any cost, willingly or unwillingly, voluntarily or involuntarily. That's why it is called stupid condition, the act of this sensual pressure that a person goes through. Have you seen donkeys running after another donkey at any cost? They want to fulfill. I mean, it is abhorring to see such a chase. In animal kingdom, when you see National Geography, it's a classical example. How in the this serial on the birds of paradise, how males dances away so stupidly. I mean, they look so beautiful in attracting the female partner. It's hilarious at the same time stupid. And most of us, or rather almost all of us, are prey to this. And that's why the condition of the body below this. It is defined because of the functions associated with those body parts. That's all there is to it. There is nothing more than that. Also about this fickleness of the heart. Sometimes it's thinking like this, sometimes it's thinking like that, sometimes it likes it, sometimes it dislikes it, sometimes it loves it, doesn't love it anymore. Sometimes heart is at so much at peace, sometimes it's so restless. This duality, when our mind remains busy with our feelings, I like this, I don't like this, it's fickleness. Sometimes you are liking it, sometimes you don't like it. It's just changing mind, fickle mind. It arises because of this duality, dvandvas they call it in Sanskrit, dvandva. That's why one who goes beyond these likes and dislikes, one who goes beyond these dualities, dvandvas, which is associated with the Pind Pradesh, once you cross that, you are in Brahman Mandal, a possibility of liberation. As you go up, where we identify ourselves in higher thoughts. We remain associated in remembrance. You are in Laya. See, your name is Laya. Laya means you are merged, you are absorbed in the higher consciousness. And to us, the higher consciousness means a person who reflects it. For us, it's the great master. We remain in his memory, in his remembrance. We remain absorbed in the condition he grants us every day. We try to occupy that adhisthana state. We remain identified with that state. That gives us peace. That gives us happiness. The moment we are moved away from the sweet memory of our masters, there is problem. We don't like it. Because something that gives us peace, and when you're away from it, naturally it's going to create disturbance. Okay. Our next question is, the region of fickle mind is found in the heart. Yes. I would like to understand, as the throat is above the heart, how is region of the stupid condition above the region of the fickle mind? We have to understand a bit differently. See, when we meditate, often people think of the heart in 2 dimensions. They imagine heart in 2 dimensions. Rarely a person would imagine heart in 3 dimensions. When we think of this heart, the neck area, this area, I would request you to think a bit differently. Think smaller circle. There is a bigger circle, another circle, and another circle. But the smallest circle is within the larger part. So you draw 5 circles like that. I don't know if you can push. Can you show this on the camera? This one I have drawn. चलो और zoom करो. It go farther? You can't. You can't see it, can you?
Yes, I can see.
They'll be able to see?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So our activities identified with the bodily needs, below all these things. It's the innermost circle. You go a little further up from stupidity, now you have moved to fickleness. From fickleness, you have gone up to ignorance. So things like that, it keeps on moving. And the widest circle represents peace or bliss or happiness. When we remain connected with Adhisthana. Don't look at it in a very geometrical way. Third question is, the region of peacefulness and bliss is above the eyes up to the further higher regions. How does this relate to us meditating on the heart? If the peace and bliss, etc., is associated with the area above the heart, above the eyes, why in the world are we meditating on the fickleness or the fickle heart? It is precisely to regulate this fickleness. If you are already in a blissful state, you need not meditate. But we are, unfortunately, with such a state called fickleness all the time. We are swinging from one spectrum to another spectrum, from one end to another end. Moreover, Babuji Maharaj in his research found that the chakra, the heart chakra, Anahata chakra, is connected with all the chakras. So whatever work is done on the heart will automatically adjust the quality of this work, will also adjust on the other chakras, lower as well as higher. Suppose if you meditate only on throat chakra, that's all what's going to happen is you are focusing only on throat. If you meditate on this Agya chakra, you are focused only on that. But when we meditate on the heart, automatically other chakras are also covered, purified, transmitted. They will receive even when Master transmits to us directly to the heart. But based on the requirement, the need of the hour, this transmission will reach out to maybe this 11th chakra or maybe 2nd chakra or maybe Manipura chakra, though we do not touch Manipura chakra willingly or with our conscious mind, with intentions. We don't touch those chakras at all. But as the need arises, it will adjust the dose of transmission, the intensity of the transmission, duration of the transmission. Similar thing will happen for cleaning. The dose of cleaning, to what extent it needs to be cleaned, for how long it is to be cleaned. So that's the beauty of Sahaj Marg, that heart, since it is connected with all the chakras, despite of its fickleness, that is the most important chakra. See, we work on our weakness, and once you master this weakness, you made it. You could have meditated upon higher areas above the eyes for peace and happiness, but that will be like whitewash. Still, a lot has to be covered. Meditating here and attaining bliss and peace, it's only temporary because still below you have not mastered your fickleness as yet. Meditating on the heart exposes us to our weaknesses in a highlighted fashion. Haven't you highlighted some of your text messages? I'm not talking on SMS, but in your books. You highlight. Meditating on the heart highlights our weaknesses. It gives us the opportunity of working on ourselves. Meditating on your strength is not going to be as beneficial as reflecting on your weaknesses. I don't say meditating on your weaknesses, reflecting on your weaknesses, so that we can correct them and transcend all those things. Later on, we'll take up some more aspects related to this work on truth eternal. So thank you. Now, till First, some announcement. First announcement is this. Slowly I hope there will be relaxation on this lockdown phase. A lot of our people will be tempted to have group satsang. They would demand rather, individual sittings in person. Even when all this lockdown is relaxed, I would wish that we still postpone meetings individually as well as in group. We'll decide at that time, depending upon area, country, etc., when to start group satsang, when to have individual sitting, etc. Until then, we'll have our Sunday satsangs like this. Individual sittings you can enjoy the way you have been doing it now through Hearts app, or you can call someone. There's a lot happening in preparation of heartful communication. It will be nice if you can, especially preceptors and functionaries and key volunteer abhyasis. In each batch, you can take hardly 20 or 30, but the material about this heartfulness or heartful communication, pre-preparations, all this can be started now. What to read before joining this particular training program. All this are required these days because the way we talk as adults is not very well appreciated by the youngsters. Have you noticed it in your own family? How children react, how not to torture them with certain things. Torturing means violence. That's why indifferently it can also be called non-violent communication. NVC. Anyway, so I encourage some of the members of our organization to participate in this program, and you can write to. I'll share the email address once before we terminate this session. Youth today is also very sensitive to negative things that happens around key functionaries. For example, politics. They can't handle it, they can't tolerate. They're meditating in politics, meditating and still behaving like this. So be careful. You are repelling certain individuals. If you still have those traits you can't handle, I think it's time for you to take a backseat, move away from politics. You're not only ruining your own spiritual career, but also people who look forward to a better life in future, our youngsters. The important question here is, one Abhyasi has asked, laziness, how to remove laziness? And I'm quite baffled by this laziness. There are times we all feel lazy now and then, see. But to some individuals, it has become chronic. It becomes their second nature, absolutely doing nothing. God is the busiest, if you call it, if you think it that way. Devil also is very busy. If you believe in Christianity, perhaps the devil is busier than God. And if lazy man is not busy, then I think you are in competition. You are worse than perhaps a devil. You're not competing at all, even with the devil or with God. You have no position. Stone has no position. You pick it up and throw it and it moves. The next Janma, who knows? You may become immovable entity, absolutely gross, where your subtle causal, these three bodies become one inanimate object. Choices we make. God doesn't make choice what we become in future. With this continued habit of being in a state of sloth, stupor, laziness, where you don't feel like doing anything. It is different from a state which Babuji says activity and inactivity. Somehow, it's a paradoxical thing. He often talks about that. Activity and inactivity, and inactivity hidden behind the activity. How to understand this concept of being active at the same time remaining inactive? It only means behind the scene, anonymous. You do it quietly. Nobody knows what you did. All your great acts, generous acts, hide yourself. These are activities which are not broadcasted. Babuji says people might think that I'm lazy, just sitting and smoking hookah. Nobody is doing enormous work at a different level. In one of communications, you will see in the upcoming fourth volume, where Babuji is complaining. It's as he's complaining in some way, or he may be going through a certain thought process in his heart, which Lalaji Maharaj reciprocates and tells, look, don't feel bad. Don't think that you have to do everything all the time. Only thing is you're not cognizant of what you're doing. If you continue to do work at the same time you become aware of all that you are doing, your mind will go crazy. So his work level was of a different nature, a different level and of different intensity. Too active. When the wheel is moving very fast, at an enormous speed, it will look static. And such was the case with Babuji Maharaj. Too active, too fast, at a different level. But he was not aware, he was not cognizant of a lot of things. Lalaji says that it was only to spare your mind from burden of knowledge. So here, burden of knowledge is emphasized, and we are all seeking knowledge. It's good in a way, but knowledge without action is of no use. Truth eternal, the essence of truth eternal is only this. Action comes first. Then out of your action will arise right knowledge. And it is through this knowledge, the purpose of knowledge is to arrive at bliss and some level of peace. But if you are inactive and will not do any work, then how can you have knowledge and how can you have emancipation? You can't. So lazy person loses a lot. If you can understand this much of, and drama or seriousness of your, then you'll say, I better do something. I'll share with you a joke. One of my sons, he shared with me a movie clip. He narrated it actually verbally. He says a hero in that movie, or some character in one of the Hindi movies, was lying down on a pavement, drunk. So lazy he wouldn't even move. And dogs use the fire hydrant for peeing. And this dog tried to pee in his mouth. This fellow, was so lazy, started shouting. He said, "Somebody please move this dog." Are you that type of lazy person that you can't even move when somebody is trying to pee on you? It's a tragedy, you see. People who meditate, they have that immense sense of awareness, what to do at each moment. No one can help us. No one can help a lazy person. So if you are looking for a solution, how to get out of this laziness, I'm sorry, I don't have good words to tell you, but I can only scare you and I can only inspire you. The rest depends on you. Thank you all. Hmm? Email ID. Mila, you can share it on the screen. That's good. Done. Liz. So we'll share with you on the screen the email address. Okay. हो गया